Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are on day 6 of our Alpha to Omega series. We should be getting our hands on the Vexor Trainer today once it hits the reset. And it is our last day to do preparations for that cruiser. I'm hoping that we can get some more ISK on this character to fit the cruiser, because we are way far behind on it. We're gonna go ahead and grab our daily corporation skill points. We will get another 50,000 tomorrow and the day after. And then it's at 15 days and 30 days. I have gone ahead and started up the level 5 drone skill. This will allow us to use 5 drones once we get into the actual Vexor, rather than the Vexor Trainer. And it will take that 9 days. A little bit less once we start putting some of these skill points towards it. So we should be able to cut off like 2 more full days from this skill from just the corporation points. And that will make it much more viable for us. So let's have a look at our ship, now that we've done some other skills yesterday. The main changes we will see are part of the Nosferatu here, where now we will have a little bit extra optimal and fall off, which means if I'm at 7.5 kilometers, we will pretty much be at 50% effectiveness on this Nosferatu. I could go ahead and upgrade all of this to Mark V equipment, since we are Tech 5. I'm not really sure if I'm going to, since we're going to be pretty much going into that Vexor Trainer and we won't come back to the Dragoon Trainer. I think the one thing I do want to change over to is, instead of having the reactive, I want to move over into an adaptive partner. But like I said, we're quite low on cash on one character. The other two are pretty okay. Let's have a look at our encounter page. See if we can get any higher cost missions. Not really. Okay, so we're just gonna grab what we can. We're gonna refresh. We got a pretty good mission here, one jump away in Morosai. We got a good mission in Forent. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on with the, this character over here just not getting any good missions on reset. We've got one good mission I saw that's 11 jumps away. I typically don't like to go a long distance to get to a mission. It's just really annoying for me, and then I have to make my way all the way back. So let's go ahead and accept all these missions. And I am going to try to do that mission in Morosai. I believe this one is a Caldari mission. And it's one that I haven't done yet. So we are going to try to stay at our maximum range. Story missions are really nice if you can actually, like, complete them. And you're okay going into low sec and running the hardest missions. I personally just don't do that. I tend to just finish what I can and then move on to normal missions. Time to undock.
Undocking.
Let's find out how to get to Morosai. Fleet command, fleet jump.
Fleet jump.
We're going to respond to our fleet jump. And that will take our entire fleet to that gate and morph it through. We can now warp to the anomaly. I just want to make sure my orbit is at, well, 7 is fine. I can make that work.
Fleet north.
Make sure we turn on our reactive hardeners.
Warp drive active.
This is one of those times where the adaptive is better because we're against enemies that have a more spread out damage layout. Hey, Jenner, how you doing? Good to see ya.
Shield damaged.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, feel free to lurk anytime you want. Day 6 is a little bit, of a disappointment, I guess. We have no missions to complete for the tutorial until the reset. And then we're just working on making money for modules on the Vexor Trainer that we will get, hopefully, at reset. The Day 7 missions are actually really easy, except for one, which is make a million ISK. I'm trying to think of the best way we can do that, because it does take a while. Man, that is so wild just seeing these, ships separate in space, and now you're 30 kilometers away and no problem. That particular ship that is 24 kilometers away, 20 kilometers away, it's one of those many NPC ships that have, for whatever reason, this need to constantly run away from whatever it is that you're fighting with, and so you just have to go and chase them down again. Those kind of ships typically aren't a problem unless you're not completing missions very quickly, and you're up against sort of a time wall. It can cause you to not finish a mission if you're too slow. Things that you can do about that is you can try to web a ship that is running away from you to slow them down. Sometimes if you have the right angle, you can warp away from the mission and warp back at a further range, which will put you on top of the enemy ship that is running away from you.
We're under attack.
Hmm.
We're under
Interesting that we have a little bit of a module glitch going on. You can see that module is flashing,
armor damage. We're
and a
under
couple of
attack.
them are doing that. It's not always a problem, but sometimes that can mean you just can't access that module at all.
Armor damage. Armor damage. Armor damage.
We're holding up just fine. No need to worry. Man, what is this thing doing? We're losing DPS because of this. It looks like they have swapped targets. So I'm gonna go ahead and start up the repair on the other one. They have swapped targets again, and are now targeting my third character, and no longer targeting my main. We're at a point now where the DPS isn't so heavy, and one repair should be able to keep us alive. I'm going to recall these couple of them, and hopefully get them back out. Yeah, that seems to have fixed the issue. Need to swap over to the other ship, that way all three of my ships are applying DPS. Having the armor alarm as high as it is can be a little bit annoying for some, but it does give you early warning on which ship is being attacked, and allows you to react in a more reasonable manner. Okay, wave 3 is here. Looks like we've got this destroyer coming quickly at us. That particular destroyer seems to have had either an afterburner or a micro warp drive, due to the fact that it covered 25 to 40 kilometers within 10 seconds or so. We're also going to take out this other destroyer. We are taking quite the damage. We are okay though. Once we can get rid of some of this DPS on us, we should be fine. Okay, they have swapped targets, which means I don't need to go so heavy on my third character, and I need to start focusing on my first character. Looks like they're kind of spreading DPS across all three. We have all of the E-War on character 2, they just swapped targets. All of the DPS is going in on character 1 right now, and it seems character 3 is being left alone. I can turn off that second armor repair. It's not needed. Okay. Swapped targets again. NPCs will do this a lot if they're Caldari. It seems to me that the Caldari enemies in general just constantly lock and unlock. Because now they're back on character 1. In just this wave alone, I think they've changed what they're firing at 6 times. And it can really catch your ships off guard if you're not well prepared. Last ship of the waves. So this one has a medium rapid missile on it, this enemy. The activation time between those hits was significantly shorter than what we would see on a medium missile. There is a Lost Wayseeker extra large fleet over in Morasai. So if you're interested in doing that and clearing that, have fun with that. That's a lot of money sitting there. Let's go ahead and move over to Forint now. And we'll do our normal grinding from there.
Shield damaged.
It's funny that we get the shield alarm when we go through jumps and gates.
Warp drive active.
Shield damaged.
Warp drive active.
Okay, we are here in Forint. Let's go ahead and start running our missions.
Fleet move.
We'll be able to handle these enemies quite a bit easier due to
Warp drive active.
the reactive hardener actually reacting properly. Make sure we set our autopilot to a nearby
Shield damaged.
station. That way we have a way out if we had to. And the second target we're going to go after is the destroyer in this wave. Yeah, a lot less scary here in Foreign than it is in Gina and Perimeter. Hey, road to set sail is open now, which means we can start working on our hardest mission, which is earn 1,000,000 ISK. And we really need to do that. While we're doing this, we're going to go to our fitting page. And we are going to go to the bottom item here, which will allow us to preview skins. I really like the Cold Iron skin. Those are really cool. Our ships are doing just fine. We are splitting DPS again, and we don't want to do that. We need to have our ships on the same ship. So our next reward for Concord Pass is going to be 2,000 Concord points. That'll be really nice to have. We can use those on keys. Or if you really want to and you don't want to roll the sort of gotcha style loot boxes, you can always go for saving them up and getting your guaranteed core.
Enemy ships detected.
We're going to focus fire on the catalyst here. And we're going to start running our second armor repair, just so we can make it through the initial parts of this wave.
We are under attack.
I think the next thing we're going to take care of is the thorax, since that is likely what is putting the Nosferatu on us. We can check that by selecting this and going here. Okay, so it's the Vexor that is giving us a problem. And now we don't have a problem. That is the low shield alarm. are going to focus the destroyer. And 2 of my ships can't really help right now. So it's going to be a rough fight for now. Let's figure out what's scrambling us. We're going to focus the ship that actually matters. We should be getting to a point where we are resistant enough to the damage types coming in. Okay, we lost a huge chunk there. We're not scrammed, so we're okay. We can always warp out if we need to. And we are back to full armor. Just like that. Very nice, very easy. Something to consider with fitting a ship is you need to consider the enemies you're fighting. And you can see some of the difference between just the 2 enemies that I regularly fight, which are the Serpentis enemies and the Garista enemies. Because Garistas are firing missiles and railguns, you're gonna find that it's really hard for some modules to keep up with the spread damage type, which is why you will end up taking much more damage. And if you were to fit something that was more wide in its resistance profile, it would be better off. However, the opposite example of that is the Serpentis here. The Serpentis enemies, which do quite significant damage with railguns, and only railguns, they will suffer against this reactive armor hunter. The reactive right now is boosting our kinetic a little bit, our explosive a little bit, and our thermal quite a bit. Because that's the damage types that are most affecting us. Just need to focus on this one ship that is almost dead. Try the custom appearance with Nanocore. So if we go to the fitting page and go to our Nanocore, we can hit try custom appearance. And that should complete it. Oh no, we've got to actually select the coloration. Let's do that real quick.
Shield damaged.
We're going to try, we're going to select neon gas. We're going to try, and we're going to select neon gas. And that completes the mission. Nanocores are really cool because they allow you to customize your ship quite a bit in terms of colors. Some nanocores are better at that than others. But it really allows you to make your ship unique to you.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack. Shield damaged.
So our last mission that we have to complete before we get the Vexor Trainer is going to be earn 1 million ISK. And we are currently at 200,000.
How are you feeling, pilot?
Enemy ships detected.
Yeah, I really don't have to pay too much attention to these lower end missions. The repairing that we have going on is more than capable to outdo the DPS coming in. I think on the Vexor Trainer, I want to do either a ranged fit or a brawl fit. The range fit will make it so I can sit outside of enemy weapon ranges and be just fine. Whereas the brawl fit, I will have to run the most resistance and healing that I can get. But those fits usually have a little bit more DPS.
Float.
Warp drive active.
If I go with the ranged fit on the Vexor Trainer, I would be running regular medium missiles with the Mark V Galente drones, because they have thermal damage and they are the highest DPS drones, but they are the slowest drones. The Vexor Trainer and the Vexor both have a drone speed increase, so that'll help them move around quite a bit better. If I do a Brawl fit, it'll be the same drones as what I was just talking about, but instead we would go with the rapid medium missiles. I think perhaps it would be best at our current tech level to do the Brawl fit, and when we go up to Tech 6, we will have to consider a ranged fit until we can determine the DPS that's coming in and see if we can out-tank that. In Tech 6 missions, you will start to see battle cruisers as your high-end ship that you have to compete with. That is unlike Tech 5 missions where the highest ship that you're going to see is going to be a cruiser, and specifically a heavy cruiser. Battle cruisers are going to be higher DPS, much slower, a whole lot more tank than their heavy cruiser counterparts, and they will absolutely slap you around if they get their guns on target.
Warp drive active.
The battlecruiser Caldari variants are actually easier than the battlecruiser Galente variants for NPCs. The Serpentis battlecruisers are going to be using either snub-nose railguns or rifled railguns. The rifled railguns are the scary ones because they will be able to hit you at range. And they do very high damage per hit. They do have slower tracking, but on a battlecruiser, tracking is still good enough with long-range weapons to hit most targets. The Caldari variant, which is the Garista's Drake, or the Garista's Cyclone, I guess they're using. The application on those missiles can be negated by going really fast in a frigate. You can also just outrange their missiles, because their missiles will be stock ranges for what you see on the market. If they have medium missiles, their range is going to be about 25 to 27 kilometers. If they have the rapids, they will have 15 to 19 kilometers of range. So anything outside of that range, and you will completely negate the Garista's battlecruisers. if they have the railguns on them, you will find that you'll have to sit somewhere around 40 plus kilometers in order to be relatively safe. This kind of information is more fresh in my mind because only a few months ago is when I started my main alts, which are currently flying marshals. And so I have a lot more memory of what is going on at Tech 6 and Tech 7 compared to these earlier mission levels.
Warp drive active.
Tech 6 and Tech 7 is about the time where you want to start really looking into what weapon system you want to focus on the most, and let that be your main weapon system throughout your journey to Tier 10, where you can start flying battleships at Tech 9, and at Tech 10 you should have the idea of what you want to focus on. After you sort of finish the experience for Tech 10, you want to have an idea of what you want to focus on as for a ship, what weapon system you want to focus on, where you want to be, what sort of job role you want to take up. All of those things should be set in stone, kind of, and should be the main way that you are making money in order to do whatever it is you want to be doing. So we are just kinda making our way to that Tech 6 area where we've gone through, we've explored a few different ship tiers. So we have done frigates and destroyers now, and we know we're going to be focusing on missiles and drones. That's the kind of thought behind getting into Tech 6. Tech 6 is a very expensive portion of the game. It's a significant increase in cost for all items. You're talking about most ships at Tech 4, Tech 5, costing anywhere between 10 and 15 million, whereas ships at Tech 6 are going to cost you 30, 40, 50 million just for the ship itself, not including the fittings. This early portion of the game where you are just completing tutorial missions and getting free items is just about to come to an end after the first 30 days, after the first 7 days, really. Because you'll no longer be given free ships unless you are paying for your Omega subscription, whether it be through paying with ISK and buying Plex, or paying outright for it. after
Fleet move.
we receive our Vexor trainer, that will be the last
Warp drive active.
free ship we get until we have Omega. And then we will get a couple more free ships, but they won't be of value to us. Well, that's odd. Okay, moving on. Huh.
Fleet move.
Okay, next mission.
Warp drive active.
I guess there must be someone sitting, invisible in one of my missions. Because I still see it on my anomaly list, and that should not happen.
We're under attack.
One of the more interesting, career paths is scanning.
We're under attack.
It can be very valuable. Bless me.
Shield damaged.
It can be very valuable, but very tedious and time-consuming. But there are two divergent paths there. One is a combat scanner. One is an exploring scanner. Combat scanners are people who usually PvP. They will go out into low sec, null sec, scan down a target, identify them, call for help, or go and kill these people themselves. Explorers will typically go out through multiple systems, look for special anomalies that allow them to unlock boxes and get randomized loot from that. And it is not a guaranteed thing that you will ever find one. But they can be very rewarding. There is two different kinds of explorers. One is more of a leech, and the other one is like the one we just spoke of, which goes out and sort of unlocks crates and loots anomalies and stuff like that. The leech, which is the one that most people do not like, is someone who will scan down high-end content, warp into that anomaly cloaked, wait for the enemies to be cleared out by whoever it is that is in that anomaly, and then as soon as all the enemies are cleared out, they will uncloak and take all of the loot for themselves and move on. Those people are also extremely profitable. However, they are probably the most hated people in the game. EVE Echoes and EVE Online are both games of opportunist. So every chance you get to do something, you should be looking to try to do it. And that way, you might have maximum risk, but you can also have maximum reward.
Enemy ships detected.
And that is kind of what those leech scanners do, is they wait in cloak and they leech off of other people's content in the hopes just to get all of their loot and not die by whoever it is that's in that anomaly. There are dozens of ways for people to make money in this game. You just have to find what you enjoy most and make that your main focus. Because this game becomes significantly more fun when you're doing the things that you want to do.
Enemy ships detected.
I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I turn on this second armor repair. There is a scram on our ship, or a disruptor. It is a scrambler. Yeah, you don't need to be afraid of a scram. You just need to make sure you kill it before it allows you to die. So any ship that is locking you down should be your priority, and if you cannot kill it, you need to move on to killing something that you can.
Fleet mode.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack. Shield damage.
I can't wait to get into the cruisers and start to discuss some of the differences between frigates, destroyers, and cruisers, and why destroyers are really like the worst ship class in Eve Echoes. Because right now they look pretty good compared to a frigate. Except for the fact that the frigate we had, which is a Tristan, was clearing the same content with very little problems. We're actually having more problems flying this destroyer than we would be with the Tristan. If we were to take the Tristan with the same Mark III modules as this, you would be finding that very few ships could actually do anything to the Tristan, whereas this destroyer we're actually having to
Enemy ships detected.
use quite a lot of tank just to make it work. The DPS is only very slightly higher than the Tristan. The Tristan was 61 DPS, whereas the destroyers that we're flying right now are 91 DPS? Yes. So, the destroyer is only about a 30 DPS difference, or a 30% DPS increase right now. Which is not very good, when you consider that enemies have more than doubled their capabilities. Let's see, how much more ISK do I need here? We're at 641,000 of 1 million, just from bounties.
Fleet mode.
Warp drive active.
One of our characters is at 5 million. One character is at 4.5 million. And our last character, which is getting really terrible RNG, is at 2.5 million. Okay, so that character is at 801,000 out of 1 million. This one is at 786,000 of 1 million. And I believe this one has just, nope, it's at 641,000.
We're under attack. Enemy ships detected. Enemy ships detected.
Something is webbing us. Let's figure out what that is and focus fire on that. And that is all the missions for second character, so let's move on to the third.
Fleet move.
Gonna check one more time real quick.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack.
And the reset for today has come through. And we are still Tech 5, so everything we do here is just going to be the same for a bit.
Shield damaged.
And actually it's going to be the same for the next 11 days of grinding. We will head out to low sec pretty soon. But I wanted to be in a cruiser for that.
Enemy ships detected.
Alternatively, I also could choose to fly a frigate out in Losec. The bombers are actually pretty good for that. I don't know if you can use a cloak as an alpha pilot, so let me check on that though. You can. So yeah, the frigate bombers are going to be really good for frigates in Losec. They allow you to warp while cloaked, which will also help you to escape any person who is going to PvP. However, the cloak will not help you if you are already locked on. A little bit of extra DPS coming in on this wave. I think a couple of things have snubbed those railguns.
Fleet mode.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack.
I appreciate you guys being here with me on this journey. This is something that I've wanted to do for quite a while, and just only recently gotten into streaming and being able to stream. And it really means a lot to me that you guys are enjoying my content and just hanging out and enjoying the ride. If you have any ideas that you want to see me do, or have any suggestions for future streams, go ahead and leave a message in the comments of the YouTube video of any stream that I have uploaded, because I do keep an eye on those comments quite closely. I may not be able to respond right away, but I will usually respond to you, and it means the world to me. I cannot tell you how much it means to me that you guys will comment on a video and just hang out with me. So if you want to find me on YouTube, you can find me under Orion Ikeoa, just like you see in the description here. Thank you so much.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack. Shield damaged. Plate 1.
Warp drive active.
Under attack.
How are you feeling, pilot?
We have completed the road to set sail on one character. And when we dock up, we will receive those rewards. The second character is a little ways off. And the third character is quite a ways off. Go ahead and make sure we turn on that second armor repair to keep up with the DPS incoming. That is why we have it.
Enemy ships detected.
Okay, which one is giving me a problem?
We're under attack.
Okay, the problem has been taken care of. And now we can go about our normal activities.
Plate 1.
Warp drive active.
Once we get our bounty tick, our second character should be done with the road to set sail.
We're under attack.
One of the most difficult parts of moving up to a new weight class of ship is that all of the modules and equipment that you had on your previous weight classes are just not viable on the next tier up. You need a completely different weapon system, a completely different skill set, and it can just chew through your time and money. That's why we spent so much time yesterday in our skill tree, just trying to make it so when we step into cruisers, which are a medium weight class, that we won't have a problem stepping into them, and we just have to worry about the money to fit those ships.
Enemy ships detected.
Your main priority with skilling into a new ship is to try to make sure that you have 5 levels in whatever the important and relevant skills are for the ship that you're flying. You can find those skills by going to the fitting page and selecting the ship name, and by scrolling down you can see like small drone operation bonus and destroyer command bonus. Those are the skills that are most important to have when you step into a ship. As a high-sec player, having a minimum of 4 skill points into those skills, or 4 levels of skill into the relevant skills is enough to get you started, but you need to get that 5th skill as soon as you possibly can. After that, you have your secondary skills that are not listed, and those skills will be whatever weapon system is used on the ship or whatever weapon system you're using, along with like defense, command, engineering, targeting. All of those skills would be secondary skills if they are not listed on the ship page.
Warp drive active.
There are some ships in this game that almost require you to have maximized those secondary skills before you actually fly them. And this is usually the case with laser ships. Laser ships tear through capacitor more than any other ship in the game. And the game does somewhat compensate for that by giving them better recharge rates and larger capacitors. However, having that secondary skill of like whatever size ship engineering will give you a much better experience flying that ship, even though it's not listed in that ship tree, or the ship information page.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack. Shield damaged.
ran out of missions. And I don't even know if I completed Road to Set Sail yet. No, I haven't. I'm like 30,000 away. On both. Okay, let's see if we can get a couple more missions in system. Yep, looks like I have one here. And one more here.
Fleet move.
Warp drive active.
New.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack. Ship damaged.
Hmm.
Enemy ships detected.
Hey, welcome back. Doing good, Jenner. How about yourself? I am quite tired from today at work, but I'm enjoying my time just getting ready for this Vexor trainer we'll get tonight. Well, what's your plan for today, Jenner? What are you gonna do? You gonna run missions? You gonna explore? You gonna go PvP?
We're under attack.
Nice. Congratulations on your Chimera. That thing's a monster. Alright, there's my K7. And let's go ahead and finish that on our other character here. We have one more character to complete the K7
Warp drive
missions.
active.
You know, it's a bit of a hassle, but it's also quite fun having a new character and just getting absolutely murked by AI once in a while. I'll be happy to step into a cruiser on these accounts. You think we're gonna get a major update tomorrow? Or, well, Wednesday morning for me? I have a feeling they're gonna have a pretty good update list tomorrow to look at, and then, there's probably a big one coming. In the recent, like 2 weeks ago, one of the rewards after the Christmas update ended, there was a piece of mail in there that stated, a new type of ship. And I don't know if that's gonna be, like, this week, or if it'll be, like, next week. I have a feeling it'll be this week, though. Judging by their usual release schedule.
Enemy ships detected.
You know, I don't know if it's in the capital category. Because it states that Concord needed a ship that can quickly infiltrate enemy lines and, something along the lines of dispensing ammunition? I'll have to relook at that piece of mail. I've still got it on my main account. It sounds like it could be something like a frigate or a cruiser, but I could also read it as a carrier of some kind. Alright, all of our Day 7 missions are done, which means we now get to step into a cruiser
Autopilot engaged.
for the first time.
Warp drive active.
I don't think Titans will be here until later this year, because they're only just released the Fortizars. And Fortizars need a Titan bay in order to actually dock a
Warp
Titan.
drive active. Warp drive active.
If it's like a high-sec dreadnought, I will be all over that. There's no need to have it, other than to run, like, the extra large, things that we've got. God, that would be terrifying having a high-sec Titan. Or not Titan, Dreadnought. Yeah, the Lucent unfortunately needs a good, damage, nanocore. That is one of the many reasons that I got rid of my Lucent Moon.
How are you feeling, pilot?
Let me go ahead and grab our last rewards for the road to set sail. Right now I mainly fly 3 marshals. Before I had the Marshal, I was flying the Raven Navy and the Cyan Sea. I really like the Cyan Sea. There's a couple of problems with it, mainly capacitor problems. But it is a very good ship. It's now pretty much on par with the Lucent Moon, but I do think now that the Lucent Moon has the quick lock capabilities, the Lucent Moon is just slightly better. It's just much slower than the Cyan. Alright, let's go ahead and go to our ship hangar. Nope, our item hangar. And we have here a free ship, a skin for that ship, so I'm going to grab the Vexor Trainer Exoplanet skin. And we're also going to grab this Dragoon Trainer Holy Skin. Let's go ahead and open up the box here. I would highly recommend if you are previously skilled into destroyers, try to fit your Lucent Moon with the lightweight ships instead. I know it's a lot more expensive, but you're going to get a lot more out of the lightweight ships than what you would get out of the fighters. Ah, yeah. Yeah, that was the first thing I went for when I saw that it could get those. Yeah, so destroyer skills also work toward those lightweight ships, on top of the normal drone skills and stuff. It's hard to skill into lightweight ships because there's so many skills. We're also going to grab our capacitor control circuit prototype things. I'm just going to grab 3 of them. Honestly, I've seen the Lucent Moon do way more than any other, versatile assault ship. That thing is just a monster compared to those. It has way more tank, has the same DPS, the Lucent Moon is just so much better than any other light, versatile assault ship. And it can enter high sec, which is a godsend for one of those ships. Alright. Let's go ahead and jump in our Vexor trainer. We'll drive over to Gina, buy us some new bling. We're gonna pimp my ride over here. Well, what do you think? You think we go long range or close range for this, Vexor? Look at him.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, the Lucent Moon would do really well in some of those,
Warp drive active.
extra large anomalies that are out here. Particularly, I would try to armor tank it. Armor tanking the Lucent Moon is, significantly better than shield tanking it.
Guest docking request accepted.
Okay, we have Concord Pass stuff. We got a 7-day login, which gives us 2 more days. I'll wait till I'm back in in Perimeter for that. Yeah, that's one of the many reasons I stopped being in Null. It's just way too active. And I fly very expensive ships. I'm literally like the anti-rule number 1 person. Okay, so check the market here. I'm going to need... Yeah, I have a corp that I'm in on my main character that's out in Null. Depending on whether or not I stay in, I don't know. I'm really getting no benefit from them. And I'm not really trying to get any benefit from them either. So I may choose to just leave. I am significantly happier in HiSec. And it allows me to fly extraordinarily expensive ships without the worry of losing them. Or becoming someone's prized kill mail, which is what I hate the most. Right, mid-slots. Drones. We're looking for medium drones on these Vexor trainers. And I need Mark V hammerheads. Yeah, I don't have any commands right now. And I don't have a Discord myself. Ooh, those are expensive now. Wow. Huh. How am I gonna afford 4 of those? Okay. What is the cheapest Mark V medium drone? Oh, disgusting, the prices on these. Okay. How did those go up in price so much? What in the world happened? Okay, the only way to do this now is to look at industry. See if I can... I see. Wow. They became expensive, man. At least one of these makes 5 hammerheads. I think I know what happened. Jeez. Can I use prototypes? Yeah, but they're still expensive. Wow, that's rough for an alpha. Mark V infiltrators. 1 million each. Go ahead and do our bounty duplication since we got our weekly reset. And we are going to duplicate the largest bounty ticks. That's 300. There's another 300. There's a 335. 286. Uh, 203. But I saw a 230 down here. 234. Okay, that gave us some money. Not a whole lot. It's like 1.5 million or something. Yeah, I remember these Mark V drones being like a few thousand. So I've got 7.8 million, 6.4 million, and 4.2 million. I guess I can just still use the small drones until I have enough money to move into medium drones. Because it's just a basic drone damage bonus, not anything else. Not specified to just medium drones. Oof. Okay. Small drones it is, then. We'll get some Mark V small drones, maybe? It'll still be an improvement over what I've got, no matter what. Someone literally went and bought all of the, drones up. That's funny. Yeah, I love my Marshalls. I've got, I think we're sitting at 8,000 DPS on each one. So the merit for repelling pirates is going to give you extra LP for completing the, faction warfare stuff. So otherwise it's useless. Yes. Absolutely. Oh yeah. With the 80% discount plus the reduced cost of 50% IP, it's still gonna run you like 2 or 3,000 IP at maximum discount. Without the discount, it's running somewhere about 30,000 IP. Which is the same as a Dreadnought or a Carrier or a Lancer Dreadnought. This is why I only fly them in HiSec, because I cannot afford to lose them. They are easily the most expensive combat ship I fly. I mean, look at just the basic cost of the Marshal. For that cost, you can buy 2 carriers, you can buy a versatile assault carrier, you can buy 2 dreadnoughts, or you can buy a Lancer dreadnought. I mean, when you compare its closest comparison, the Raven Navy, because the Raven Navy is the only other ship that functions like it, like, you can buy 10 Raven Navy issue hulls for the cost of that one Marshal. It's like 9, right? Close enough. Yeah, you can actually do a really good Cyan fit for that price, because the Cyan, it's still in the 50 million range, right? Yeah, it's 60 million. So you can do a pretty okay fit with 20 billion to spare. You definitely pay for the Marshal. The Marshal can work in a whole lot of scenarios. That is what you're paying for, is the flexibility of the Marshal. Not necessarily that it's actually the best ship in the game other than the Dominic's Navy issue. The Dominic's Navy issue is the only one that's actually better than the Marshal right now, out of all the battleships in game. Alright. Man. So what I think I'm gonna do, I'm going to put up some buy orders for medium drones. And hopefully someone will fulfill my dreams of having medium drones. See, that's the price I expected. A little under $1 million. Not 2.5 million for one. That's insane. Okay. So we've got to buy a medium Nosferatu. I don't have much ISK left. Yeah, someone in this game is just trying to ruin the economy for new players. Okay, so we've got that. We need some missiles. Should I go with the long range? I think it would be smart to do it that way. 12-second activation time really is not good. These are way cheaper, aren't they? No, they're more expensive. I think I just go long range. Okay. Low slots. Armor repairer. Medium Mark 5. Don't you screw me over. Okay, good. What kind of capacitor does that take up? Not bad. I'm gonna get 2 of these. Armor hardener. And then I'm also going to buy a medium afterburner. Just in case I need one. Those are expensive. At least these are on the market, I guess. I don't think it's even worth paying for that. I need one other mid slot, and I think it's going to be a target painter. Mark 5s are gonna be pretty cheap. That's good. I'll take it. Just enough to buy those. And the only thing we're suffering with is drones. But I should have 5 Mark III drones between all of my ships. So I can just go home and grab those. You can see we're already pretty much at the same DPS we were with the destroyer. And we only have 2 high slots. Nosferatu, target painter, Nosferatu, painter, Nosferatu, painter. Let's see what kind of range that has. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and a half-ish, 13.3 kilometers. Okay. Go ahead and equip our 2 repairers and our hardener. We have a 4-minute capacitor. As it sits right now, but we won't have to use it for 4 minutes straight, ever. Let's see how it is with just one. Oh yeah, we're really cap stable with just one. Hey, let's head back to our home in Perimeter while we wait for our drone dreams to be fulfilled.
Autopilot engaged. Undocking.
That was really surprising at the cost of those Mark V drones.
Warp drive active.
Come on, that was like the perfect. The largest bounty tick I have gotten in high sec was, with commendations, it was 120 million. with commendations, it's 120 million, so that would be 30 million on each ship as a multi-boxer. Without commendations, it's 60 million, spread between 3 ships. No. Yeah? Yeah.
Guest docking request
I have a
accepted.
video on it with my YouTube channel, if you want to see that. I've got a lot of my Marshall content on YouTube since I got a hold of it. Let's see here. Drone Bay. These are civilian hobs. Yeah, that's a really good bounty tick for a single ship. I'm assuming that was in one of those race seekers. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna hit strip fittings. What? Okay, I'm just gonna do this the hard way. I'm thinking I have Mark III drones in the tube. I do. Well, this is a little bit of a pain, because I don't want to repackage the Tristan or the Dragoon. I was just hoping to get the drones off of them. Okay, so normally these drones have a DPS of 9.56. Once they are in the tube, they have 15.3. Alright, so that puts us at 135 DPS compared to the 91 that we were getting on the Destroyer. We have significantly increased tank because of our armor repair. I do have to go through and put on some rigs on here, but I'm going to use the capacitor control prototypes. That'll give us a 5-minute and 43-second capacitor while using everything all at once. And if I can get my hands on a couple of nanobot rigs. Combat rig, defensive rig, combat rig, defensive rig, armor. And it is the augmenter? Yes. That is 48,000. Do I even have that much ISK left on my... Oh yeah. And then after that, it would be the nanopump. Once I have some more ISK. Combat rigs, defensive. Normally, I might want to go with straight up DPS rigs, but I want to wait for the normal Vexor before I go into, like, a DPS bit.
Autopilot engaged.
Alright, I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Undocking. Warp drive active. Warp drive active. Destinate docking request accepted.
Alright, I am back. This will make us cap stable at 3.7% or 30% capacitor, I think. Now, let's see. Normally, I'd be getting a 319 armor repair on each one. I will now be getting 399 armor repair on each one, which they are activating every 6.6 seconds. So 800 armor every 6.6 seconds is not bad for a ship like this. See, my command range is 24 kilometers. So I can orbit at 23 or 22. Alright. Be safe making dinner. So I'm going to change my orbit to that 22 kilometer range. And now, if you consider the 180 DPS I had between the 3 destroyers, each one of these cruisers is almost at the same DPS, and it will be more DPS once I get the medium drones. Let's go ahead and just undock these.
Undocking.
And I am going to just check all of my modules, make sure they are in the right place. I want these down here. Actually, I kind of want them up here. Alright. Actually, I wonder if I should just leave my missiles split. Let's go ahead and leave them split. Alright, and that'll be our layout. And yeah. Close enough. That'll be our layout. the reason I chose to do the layout like this, all of my weapons are on the bottom, all of my survivability and activatables are on the top. The left side on the top is going to always be running. The right side will be activating on and off as needed. The drones are separated so that way, if they are doing anything weird, I can see which one is doing something weird and react to it faster. Let's go ahead and get to perimeter. And we'll do a couple of missions and see just how quickly we blow through them.
Autopilot engaged. Warp drive active. Destination reached.
Let's see, it's 9 o'clock. I think I can do a few missions here. So our power progression from this point in time is to acquire medium drones, which are now going to cost us somewhere in the 6 million ISK, 7 million ISK range. Alright, all of our missions have been selected. Go ahead and just warp fleet directly in, and the ships will automatically start heading toward their
Warp
range.
drive active.
I could really just brawl with these.
We're under attack.
It will take these ships a lot longer in order to even have a chance to get through our shields. I mean, our shields alone are the same health as a frigate. Our shield and our armor combined is more health than the destroyer had.
Enemy ship
the first wave was completed. You'll notice the lock time on this is a lot slower than the destroyers. It's just part of flying a cruiser, but you will clear out enemies significantly faster. Honestly, don't even have to worry about running the armor repair quite yet.
Enemy ships detected.
Last wave. Just gonna let those repairs run, and I'll try to get much better capacitor control rigs. We have a lot of progression to do on these ships. Hey, now we're not having to worry about dying to perimeter enemies. Their missiles just don't do anything to us in comparison to what they were doing to the destroyer. Let's see what kind of armor we're working with. We have 22%, 45%, 44%, and 57%. There's an Inquisitor in our system. I wonder if I should do that. I don't know.
Fleet move.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack.
So this will be sort of your first experience with a physically capable ship.
Enemy ships detected.
And seeing what being on the high end of content kind of feels like. And then as soon as we go to the next tier, we're gonna suffer again. We will have to change our fit for when we hit Tech 6, I believe. But we'll see what it does. I am going to be looting a bunch of stuff as we go along. Now that we're in a ship that can carry actually quite a bit of modules, we can carry 960 cubic meters of material. So let's just make sure we're utilizing our ships to the fullest extent.
Fleet move.
Warp drive active.
They haven't even touched our armor on one of our ships quite yet, although we got really close on our character number 2.
Enemy ships detected.
If you are a solo player and you are clearing these waves without a problem, you know you're safe, go ahead and swap your overview to show the loot ranks, and that way you can start building up some modules and stuff for yourself, as well as you can take those and break them down into minerals. And you can sell those minerals or use those minerals to build other things. Hey, we finally got to the point where we're starting to do repairs on our ships from our armor repair.
Fleet move.
Warp drive active.
Go ahead and swap this character to the loot since its missions are done. God, I feel like my marshals lock faster than these Vexa trainers. you can see just how slow 12 seconds is. Those, missiles are not given any
Under attack.
hope. But it's the missiles we want to use when we're going into Tech 6, so that's why we got them. It also gives us the ability to stay at a much further range and survive that way.
Fleet move.
Warp drive active.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Well, now that we're in cruisers, my focus is less on the health of the ship and more on just making sure all the modules are turning on and activating on something, as well as making sure there's always a target to be locked onto. And so that way I'm not losing DPS as I'm killing things faster than I can lock. It's really nice to have that extreme range on the missiles. We have a 29-kilometer range right now on these medium missiles, which will help us catch any of those ships that are trying to run away from us, as well as if a wave just spawns really far away, the first thing that's going to be within range is the missiles, rather than the drones.
We're under attack. Fleet move.
And we're just gonna move on to the next mission.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack.
We should be seeing a much improved bounty tick now that we can deal more DPS and we're not having to die or warp out. We clear these waves in what feels like half the time of the destroyer.
Enemy ships detected.
We'll really see the most difference when we go into a hard mission. These particular ships will shine a lot
Enemy ships
over the destroyers.
We're under attack. First war.
Okay, so that was a 135,000 bounty hit.
Warp
Really
drive
wasn't that
active.
much better, but that also included us going through all of our missions, and turning them on before we started fighting. Each system has its own bounty tick timer.
We're under
So as soon as you warp into a system, that is when that bounty tick timer starts. And then I believe it's every 15 or 20 minutes after that, you will get a bounty tick. So long as you are fighting enemies, like NPC enemies.
enemy ships detected.
Oh, thought I lost my chance for a really good screenshot there.
Enemy ships detected.
Nice, we got a ballistic control system. It's not really worth much, but it's cool to see.
Fleet move.
Warp drive active.
This thing's like some weird beetle when it goes to warp and out of warp. With the way that this metal piece extends out the back, it makes me think of like the thorax of a cockroach or whatever.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Yeah, this is starting to feel a lot more like what I normally do on my main account. I just focus on modules, and I don't have to worry about the ship itself. The ship will do what it needs to do, and I will do all of the module on and off. That guy had railguns on it.
Enemy ships detected.
We're repairing just fine. Look at all that health.
We're under attack. Fleet move.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack.
Have we completed our Concord Fast missions for the week? Not quite yet. We're close. Yeah, the next goal is to get this ship in a position where all of its modules could be shifted over onto the regular Vexor. So that means we have to upgrade everything to the Mark V medium equipment. And we have that most of the way there. Our biggest hindrance is the medium drones, which I'm hoping somebody will fulfill those buy orders overnight. And if not, I will have to look at a different way of obtaining them. Because those are necessary for our fit to really outshine. Yeah, so all drones are alpha. And they've been that way for a long time because there's no Dead Space drones. Or are you asking about the characters? Yeah, all the characters right now are still alpha. We're a long way from reaching Omega for the first time. We'll have to be Tech 7 and flying a Prophecy in order to start making our first Omega. So just to show you, there's all the alpha here, and how many skill points each of them has. Let's have a look into our advanced tutorial and see what's going on with it. Alright. We're not that far from completing the anomalies for it. And we'll be given a whole lot of skill chips for that. Alright. Next mission.
Fleet move.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack. Shield damaged. Enemy ships detected.
I wonder if we're gonna be lucky enough to get a, Vexor Nanocore. There's probably some cracking when, I go through gates and stuff, because it lags the hell out of my computer and can kill my audio sometimes when I'm going through a jump.
Enemy ships detected.
But that's the only times I seem to see it on my end. Could also be, you have actually really good speakers, and I'm just kinda deaf. Because I am using, like, a $10 mic, and for whatever reason, your speakers might actually catch that
Warp drive
noise
active.
from it. Does it happen in the streams for you as well? Or is it just, on the VODs?
Enemy ships detected. We're
Yeah, surprisingly, OBS isn't picking anything up, so I don't know.
Fleet War.
Warp drive active.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack. Enemy ships detected.
So once we are through these missions, I'm going to show off a different way to transfer items to another player without, uh, without being charged anything at all. And it is free for alphas as well, and way less risky than the market trade that we did a couple of days ago. It doesn't even require contracts in order to trade items.
Fleet War.
Warp drive active.
Ooh, we got a Mark III inertial stabilizer. That'll come in handy for us later. There's a few things that we may want to do in the near future, and that could be hauling items from perimeter to Gina to sell it. And those inertia stabilizers are going to give us a much faster travel time in whatever ship we decide to build for transferring the items to Gina. Inertia stabilizers cut your inertia by a certain amount. Well, let me pull it up here. Yeah, it cuts your inertia modifier by 17%, which allows you to warp, or get to warp faster. And on something like a Roarfall or an Orca, you can be at warp normally with like a minute on the Roarfall, but with 2 inertia stabilizers active, you can be at warp within 15 seconds or less.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, the micro warp drive trick is also a really good trick to use. That's actually like a 10-second opportunity, but if you get scrammed, it won't work. The inertias will probably give you the best chance. On something like the Roarfall, it's 50-50 whether you make it out or not anyway. If you're being invaded in your system, and so the micro warp drive trick is probably your best bet to get away and get to your warp speed. It's especially useful if you've got the micro warp drive and an inertia stabilizer. But you don't want to give up that many low slots for a ship like a Roarfall where it costs 140 billion IST just to have the ship and 1 module on it. On some ships, the inertia stabilizers are actually better for travel, because a micro warp drive will take 25% of your capacitor right off the top as soon as you equip it. And some ships just don't have a big capacitor, so when they go through a long system, they won't be able to go through the next system. with the capacitor they had left. So an inertia modifier can actually save you that capacitor need. Alright. And while we're here, I will show off that transfer of items. So all you have to do is have these items in your ship's inventory, hit jettison, it will send all of the items into space, or whatever item you want to send into space, and you can see here on my other screen, we have a loot cargo from one character, and a cargo crate from another character. And I can just pick them up, and it doesn't cost me anything. That is the best way for an alpha with multiple characters to transfer items between them without being charged or having to put it through the market at a ridiculously cheap cost. Alright, let's head to our station and we will call it a day.
Autopilot engaged.
I think we had a very successful day. We got into our cruisers finally. We realized we don't have enough money to completely fit it out, but because of the materials that we had purchased in our smaller ships, we were able to transfer some of those items over
Request accepted.
and give us the opportunity to actually fly our ships today. Huzzah! Let me just collect our supplies and our Concord Pass. We are now level 12 in the Concord Pass. Oh, we are so close to getting that 1,000-point thing on this character. Which means we have maxed out our Concord Pass for the week. I don't remember when these missions reset. In 20 hours. Alright, so tomorrow afternoon. While we're here, we'll also grab how many points do I need for that? 982 out of 1,000, so I need 18 more points. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and buy us some more Concord decoding keys. It used to be that you could use these Concord points for blueprints, and that was the best way to make money as an alpha, is you would buy those blueprints and sell them on the market. Some of those blueprints went for upwards of 500 million at times. Unfortunately, they have removed those. And that is what we got from our rolls. I like to stack everything I can. You can see here we are starting to build up our collection of items. And hopefully soon, we will start being able to show off a nanocore. Probably after we get the Vexor or the Prophecy. I hope we get lucky. So these competing chips here, they sell for 2 million on the market. I might have to look into selling those if I don't get my medium drones, but I would like to keep them at all costs. Let's see what these general data banks sell for. 1 million on the market each, and I have 22 of those. Pretty much on each character. I think that would be enough to get us into our fit. So yeah, we have some options, but we're going to be a little bit patient here and see what happens. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it so much. And I will see you tomorrow for day 7. Take care and be safe.